Okay, so in the last lesson, we looked at how to find domain and range using the graph of the function. Now we're going to use limits to determine the continuity of a function, and we're also going to apply the intermediate value theorem and the corollary to that, the location principle, to work with continuous functions. We also want to be able to use limits to describe end behavior of functions. So our new vocabulary in this section, continuous function, limit, discontinuous function, infinite discontinuity, jump discontinuity, removable discontinuity, non-removable discontinuity, and end behavior. So those are the words that you should watch for as we're going over this. So our first key concept, what is a limit? Okay, well, a limit is what something approaches as what your y value approaches, basically, as your x value approaches a certain constant number. Okay, so for instance, if x was approaching 2, what would the function f of x do with the y values? That's really what it means. Okay, so with this picture, you see that this is what x is approaching. X is approaching c. Okay, as x approaches c from the left, we see that y is approaching this value L. Okay, as c is approaching from the right, or as x is approaching c from the right, we see that this is also approaching L. Okay, so this is a function where the limit would exist. Okay, and this is how it's written in symbols. This is how it's read. The limit as x approaches c of f of x is L. Okay, and L is a y value basically, and your x are your x values. So that's a definition of a limit. Now, next key concepts. We have infinite discontinuity, jump discontinuity, and removable discontinuity. And again, these key concepts are in your book as well. Okay, infinite, this is what happens. You end up with, at a certain value here. So at c, this is continuing and it's going up and up and up. So it's approaching positive infinity. But when we approach c from the left, look what happens. It goes down and down and down. So this is approaching negative infinity. So they're not approaching the same thing. And so it's infinite, because it goes to infinity both ways, discontinuity. It's discontinuous here. Okay. A jump discontinuity is what happens if at a certain value of x, so in here we have the value c again, the limits jump. That's why it's called jump discontinuity. Okay. So as x approaches c from the left here, okay, you see that it's down here below the x-axis, so it's going to be some negative y value, correct? But as c is approaching, or I'm sorry, as x is approaching c from the right, we're up above the x-axis, so you know these two are not the same value. And in fact, it jumps, okay? So that's why it's called a jump discontinuity. A removable discontinuity. So if you have a function that's continuous everywhere except at one hole, like this, at x equals c, then it's said to be discontinuous, but it's a removable discontinuity. Okay. Now, a continuous function means I should be able to put my pencil on the function and go through it without having to lift it for a point that's missing. Okay. So this one, I follow it. I have to lift my pencil up and bring it up here to start the new part of it, right? So this is not continuous. Okay. This is not continuous. I have to lift my pencil up to go to the other part of it. A continuous function, we should be able to trace the whole function without having to lift the pencil. Okay? All right. So this is the continuity test. A function f of x is continuous at x equals c if it satisfies the following conditions. So this is how you test for what I just described with not having to lift your pencil. F of x is defined at c, so in other words, if you put it into your function, you get a real value out. Okay. f of x approaches the same value from either side of c, so it can't approach two different values. So in other words, the limit exists. And the third thing, the value that f of x does approach, when you look at that limit, has to be f of c. Okay, so if the limit exists and it's equal to what f of c is, that's what the function is at c, then the limit exists, and that means this is continuous. Okay, so those are the tests for continuity. Okay, so we're going to identify a point of continuity here. We want to determine whether or not this function f of x equals 1 over 2x plus 1 is continuous at x equals 1/2. Now, we could graph this and try to trace it, but we're going to use the continuity test to justify it. So we have to check those three conditions. Okay, the first one being, does f of 1/2 exist? Well, so I'm going to put 1/2 in here for x, right? So we do that. Now, because f of 1/2 equals 1/2, so put 1/2 in here. 2 times 1/2 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. You get 1/2. This means the function's defined at x equals 1/2. Okay, so the second thing we need to look for is, does the limit as x approaches 1/2 of f of x exist? Well, you have to look to see what's happening from the left and from the right. So you're going to construct a table that shows your x and f of x values, so your x and y. As x gets closer and closer to 0.5, so we say 0.499, and then 0.49, and then 0.499, and then 0.4999. And what's happening? So you can put these values into your calculator and get your f of x. Now approach from the right, so 0.51, 0.501, 0.5001. Well, as you see, your y values here seem to be approaching 1/2 from both sides, don't they? That means that the limit exists, okay? So the pattern suggests that it does approach 1/2 from both the left and the right. So we estimate the limit to be 1/2, okay? Well, that is what f of 1/2 was, right? So my third test, does the limit as x approaches 1/2 of f of x equal 1/2? Yes, it does, because that's what we saw it approaching, okay? And if you look at the graph of this, it supports that conclusion, okay? So now notice, we're saying this is continuous at a point. The whole function isn't continuous, but it's continuous at a point. So our answers here, yes, f of 1/2 was 1/2. The limit exists because we looked left and right. And then the third thing is, if the limit exists, find it. Well, we found it. It was 1/2, and it's equal to this. So that means it's continuous at that point C. So we know it's continuous at x equals 1/2. Doesn't mean it's continuous everywhere. Okay? All right. You do this one. Determine whether the function f of x is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3 is continuous at x equals 1. Justify using the continuity test. So, is it continuous at x equals 1 or is it not? Do those three tests to see what it is. Okay, so this one is continuous because those three things are true. Okay, if you put in f of 1, you get the same thing when you find the limit. Okay, so yes, it is continuous because the limit as x approaches 1 of f of x is equal to f of 1. Okay, identify a point of discontinuity. We want to determine whether this function is continuous at x equals 1. So again, we're going to justify using the continuity test. And if it is discontinuous, then we want to identify the type. Is it infinite, jump, or removable? Okay, so because f of 1 is 1 over 0, put 1 in here, 1 minus 1 is 0, that means it's undefined. That means f of 1 does not exist. That's the first test, right? And if it can't pass the first test, then it's not continuous, is it? Okay, so let's investigate what happens when we get closer and closer to 1. So now we're looking at the limit, okay? As x approaches 1 from the left, so 0.9, 0.99, 0.999. Look what's happening to these values. they're progressively getting smaller and smaller, right? Negative 1,000. But as we approach from the right, 1.1, 1.01, 1.001, it's getting larger and larger. So that suggests that it's infinitely discontinuous, okay? Because as it's approaching from the left, it gets more negative. As it's approaching from the right, it gets more positive. So it's going down from the left, it's going up from the right, okay? So therefore the limit does not exist, okay? The third test, because f of x decreases without bound as x approaches from the left and the right, we know that this has an infinite discontinuity at x equals 1, okay? All right. Look at this one. Does this function have discontinuity at x equals 2, or is it continuous? Again, we're going to look at the same tests, and then we're going to identify it as one of these if it is discontinuous. So, put in f of 2, okay, x equals 2, put 2 in, 2 squared is 4, 4 minus 4 is 0. So again, that's undefined. It doesn't even really matter what's on top, although it is 0 on top too, because you can't divide by 0. So f of 2 does not exist. So therefore it's discontinuous, okay? Now, let's look at the limit. As we're approaching 2 from the left, look what's happening to our y values. As we're approaching 2 from the right, look what's happening. They seem to approach the same thing, about 2.25 or 1/4. So the limit of it does exist, okay? And it seems to be 1/4. All right, now, because the limit exists, but f of 2 is undefined, f of x has a removable discontinuity at x equals 2. And if you graph this on your graphing calculator, this is how it's going to graph it. The graph supports this conclusion. So you see, right at x equals 2, there would be an open circle here. You've seen some of those other graphs with just an open circle in one place. This would be y, okay? Because it makes the denominator 0. But it's a continuous function otherwise, isn't it? Okay, and the limit exists because it approaches the same thing from the left and right. That's why it's called a removable discontinuity, okay? So that's what that is. All right, so you try this one. Determine whether this function is contiguous at x equals 1. Again, use the 3 tests, and but then if it is not contiguous, is it infinite, jump, or removable? Okay, so this one is infinite discontinuity. It is going down from one way and up from the other. So that means that it's infinite discontinuity. Okay, intermediate value theorem.